Parker, still no answer. Ellen says she runs errands this time of day.
Thank you. Teacher at Patty's school says she got an emergency page, left the classroom to answer, and never came back.
Big sister Ellen must have warned her.
School's faxing over a yearbook photo. Maybe Patty's boyfriend can help us find her.
I haven't seen Patty in 8 months. She broke up with him.
She dumped you, or did you kick her to the curb when you found out she was gonna make you a dad?
She was pregnant?
Let me guess, you didn't always practice safe sex.
We never had sex. She was too young.
How old were you 8 months ago?
17?
Well, that wasn't statutory rape, so spill it. Did you have sex with Patty?
Yes.
Hit it raw?
Well, a couple of times we didn't use protection, but...
Rape, so spill it. Did you have sex with Patty?
Yes.
Hit it raw?
Well, a couple of times we didn't use protection, but she never said anything about being pregnant. What did I do?
Or about that baby we found in the river?
You think she was mine?
We could find out if you let us run a DNA test.
No problem. I would have supported Patty and the baby. I got a union job now. I make a good buck.
If you would have stepped up, why do you think she didn't tell you?
Her father. The guy's a world-class jerk. He hates me because I'm a dropout.
Any idea where we could find Patty?
She's not at home or at school. I really don't know.
How about paging her? You still got the number.
Yeah, I remember it.
Call it.
We know that you didn't mean to hurt anyone. For God's sake, Patty, what happened?
I killed my baby. God, I killed my baby. I'm so sorry, Daddy.
What did you do? What?
I went to this place on 96th Street.
A clinic?
Yes. I'm so sorry. I just didn't know where else to go.
You had an abortion? Without my permission?
The law says that she doesn't need it.
Like hell she doesn't.
I've asked you to calm down. Now I'm telling you to sit down. Sit down.
Patty, we're gonna need your okay to check the story with the clinic, all right? Heard what you said to the father.
I didn't warn that.
Wow. You look like you left somebody alone at a very nice place.
Oh, my husband will wait. This couldn't. It's about the baby.
What's wrong?
During the autopsy, I noticed her retinas had a reddish discoloration, so I ordered several genetic tests. One came back positive.
What for?
Tay-Sachs. No treatment or cure. She'd have died a horrible death by the age of 5.
This was a mercy killing. So this changes the profile.
Instead of looking for one parent, we're probably looking for a couple. Reasonably well off. Responsible enough to get medical care for the baby.
Explains why she's a month old. Mother probably never thought about doing this till she found out the baby was sick.
People like this, they wouldn't have kept their kid a secret.
No, but they're probably covering up her disappearance. They might have relocated at the time of her death or reported her missing in another state.
I'll check with the Center for Missing and Exploited Children.
In the meantime, any idea how we could pick up their trail?
Yeah, Tay-Sachs is most common among certain ethnic groups, particularly the Jewish community.
Same old story, when all else fails, round up the Jews.
It's also common among French Canadians and Cajuns. Genetic screening has drastically reduced the amount of Tay-Sachs babies. Both parents need to carry the gene, and they...
My work isn't research. I don't treat these children myself, but even if I did, you know I couldn't tell you about them. Okay. Are there any places that parents can go for help? Fortunately, this disease is rare. There's only one support group in the area.
Not everybody comes to every meeting. We get people from as far away as Maine.
But these parents would probably be local. Child born about a month ago.
There was a woman from Manhattan. Came to a meeting a few weeks ago, but never came back.
Any idea why?
She seemed disturbed when she saw the child with one of our parents. Can't say I blame her.
You remember her name?
Sorry.
Well, what about a list of members or sign-in sheet?
Can't give that out.
Rabbi, we're pretty sure that the parents that we're looking for murdered their baby because she had Tay-Sachs.
Oh, God.
And with all due respect, there is no law protecting the confidentiality of support groups.
I'm only trying to protect what little solace the members of this group have left.
I'm I'm sorry, we'll have to get a subpoena.
Okay. Here's the list. I'll fax you the sign-in sheets, but there's no guarantee the woman you're looking for is going to be on any of them. We don't require parents to sign in or even tell us who they are.
Do you remember anything else about this woman? Where she lived? Who referred her?
Now that you mention it, yes. Her pediatrician, Judah Plattner, sent her. He belongs to our congregation.
We're not asking for records, we're asking for the name of the woman you referred to the Tay-Sachs support group.
Well, that's the same thing, isn't it? Besides, I haven't had a Tay-Sachs patient in a couple of years.
Rabbi Bernbell mentioned you by name.
Yes, I know. He visits patients here all the time. It's easy enough to mix me up with another pediatrician.
Dr. Plattner, a child has been murdered. If you know anything at all.
I would tell you. The law requires me to report any abuse of a child.
Have you had any patients die recently?
Yes. 5-year-old boy, neuroblastoma, just last month. Doesn't happen often, but never gets any easier.
And you've sent for genetic testing?
Detective, stop wasting your time and mine. Believe me, I'd help you if I could.
National Center for Missing and Exploited Children came up with squads. Same with missing persons in all 5 boroughs and the rest of the tri-state.
Mother goes to a support group. She gets the kid tested. You got all of this media coverage. Someone who knows him is not suspicious that this baby has gone missing. I mean, why hasn't anyone reported him?
Because everybody knows the baby died. They just don't know how.
Yeah, and somehow they covered it up. Maybe with help from your Dr. Platt.
What'd you find?
Vital Stats had the death certificate on that cancer patient, but he signed one just last week on a month-old girl.
Funny how he forgot to tell us that. Cause of death?
Asphyxiation pneumonia. Little girl's name was Sarah Brown. Parents, Andrea and Daniel.
The funeral was Wednesday. We're still sitting shivering. We're very sorry for your loss.
Take as little of your time as possible. Dr. Plattner was Sarah's pediatrician, wasn't he? Yes, but how would you know that?
We have a list of all his patients.
What exactly is this about? We're investigating a complaint against Dr. Plattner. We're following up with all of his patients' parents.
I'm sorry, may I use the bathroom? Found the medicine cabinet, but there was an empty vial in the garbage can, something called imipramine.
I've never heard of it. When was it filled?
Last week, 2 days before the baby turned up. For Andrea Richmond, must be her maiden name. Prescribed for Dr. Plattner.
Well, how often does a pediatrician write a prescription for the parents?
The ME confirmed imipramine is the tricyclic antidepressant that caused Sarah Brown's death.
Parents probably used what they needed to put the baby to sleep and flush the rest down the toilet.
If the doctor gave them the pills to do this, he's just as guilty as the Browns are. I'll get a warrant to pick up that pill vial.
Our baby was found in a cooler. Are we saying these parents buried an empty casket?
I checked out the funeral home that the Browns used. There were, multiple health department violations. The Browns could have paid them off.
Why dump the body in the river? Why not just bury it? We're not going to know until the parents give it up.
We can't prove the Browns are the parents without their DNA.
Which we can't get without more evidence.
We got the pill bottle. Is that enough to dig up the kid's grave?
I'll run tests on the lining, but I'm pretty sure there's never been a body in this coffin.
We'll see him as an angel of mercy.
Or an angel of death.
Our virgin goes down a lot smoother. We consider a plea.
You're not testifying?
I have a personal interest.
Sitting on the defense's side?
Oh, ye of little faith.
I assumed that you were pro-euthanasia.
And for adults who are competent to ask for it.
But not for children?
First kids with incurable diseases, then the disabled. Where does it stop?
Defense is going to argue that Andrea did this out of love.
It doesn't matter what intentions this road is paved with, Alex. It only leads to one place.
I was Andrea's pediatrician since the day she was born.
But you were more than just her doctor, weren't you?
Well, Andrea's father, Joel, died when she was about 12. I was sort of her surrogate father while she was growing up. We lost touch from the time she went to college until Sarah was born.
How did you learn that Sarah was sick?
At her 2-week checkup, I saw the red spots in her eyes. I told Andrea she had to get the girl tested.
And when the results of those tests came back?
I told Andrea and Daniel that child had Tay-Sachs. They felt terrible guilt because they had not been tested themselves.
Did you tell them what Sarah faced?
Yes, I did.
Did you tell us?
Well, at about 6 months, Sarah would start having seizures.
For the funeral home to bury an empty casket.
Andrea was supposed to call me when Sarah had gone to sleep, but she panicked. She didn't come to me until after she'd already put Sarah in the river.
And you helped her cover it up.
Yes, I did.
Dr. Platter, do you think that children who have no chance of survival should be euthanized?
Objection.
Overruled.
Have you ever seen a child with Tay-Sachs? Or any fatal disease?
And how should we determine the criteria for killing a child? Those born with half a brain? Deaf children? Blind children, maybe?
Is this necessary, Your Honor?
You've made your point, Miss Cabot. Move on. Dr. Platter, for how many other patients have you ended the suffering?
None.
Then why did you do it in this case?
Sarah was hopeless. I was like a father to Andrea. I couldn't let this destroy her, too.
Nothing further.
Daniel had to work late that night. I crushed the pills. I put them in some formula. I nursed her one last time. And then I gave Sarah the bottle. And there was a support group that Judah recommended. And I went and I listened to the parents discuss their kids. They can't move. They can't see. It made me even more determined to do what I did.
Why?
Because I loved Sarah so much. I could not stand to see her suffer.
Nothing further.
Sarah wasn't showing any symptoms of Tay-Sachs. Why didn't you wait until she did?
I didn't want her to be in any pain.
Wasn't this as much about your pain as it was Sarah's?
I did it to spare Sarah, not me. I will be in agony for the rest of my life.
You testified that you went to the support group by yourself. Where was your husband?
I didn't think he could handle it.
Dr. Plattner said that you both wanted to end Sarah's life. And yet you told detectives that your husband wasn't involved. Why did you make this decision on your own?
I didn't want Daniel to be the one who did it. I know what I did was against the law, but I believe in a loving God. And I cannot believe that a loving God